So I'm going to get into targeting a little deeper in this video because there's some other mistakes I've mentioned in previous trainings about people trying to make audiences too big and they're trying to catch everybody in every market possible and things like that. But one of the I think the most confusing yet powerful abilities to target in the Facebook Ads Manager is down here in detailed targeting. So let's go with, I always recommend when you're first running your ads, test your local country and, like the United States is mine, your age group more likely to buy. For me, it would be like 35 to, 60, 63. 65 plus means they don't know who the hell is beyond 65. So like it could be somebody with no age on their profile. So always keep it somewhere like 64 or something like that. Let's go with women, English. I put in English. So now we got 48 million over here in potential reach. So we need to narrow this down. Remember, don't ever check this button, detailed targeting expansion. But I want to share with you here the most important thing on this video is how this works. So how detailed targeting works are your main things you want to reach put here in people who match. So in another example, I put in dogs, especially it's giving more specific a breed, Labrador Retriever. There's another one that's like Labrador videos. If I could spell Labrador. I know. I swear there's another one that's Labrador Retriever videos, right? Well, it's not showing up today. Facebook is so bizarre. Well, it's a small one anyways. This one was big at 18 million. So we're at 3.7 million. It's huge. So like say Labradors, let's say we could do Golden Retriever. That's a huge one. Let's also do Chesapeake Bay Retriever. Let's see, what other kind of retriever dogs, people like those Brittany, Spaniels, little hunting dog. Ooh, not a lot. 3,900 compared to 5 gazillion here in these two. So we just put different dogs of the same type. Now, let's say you were going to go after people that were also interested in outdoor sports, like hiking. There's a really big one here. Hiking trails, maybe archery, maybe skeet shooting. So I'm going to tell you the mistake right here. That this is common. This is what people do in their targeting. And this is why I had to make it into a separate video. It's really important to not mix very different things together. In this case, I've got the dogs, but I also mixed in archery, hiking trails, Labrador Retriever, skeet shooting. So the way that Facebook works, they will find any one of these. So this ad could be women 35 to 63 who speak English in the United States who are interested in archery, or Brittany Spaniels, or Chesapeake Bay Retriever, or Goldens, or hiking, or labs, or skeet. Some people think it's all of these, and it's not. You want to keep like things with like things. And what I mean by that is I'm going to get rid of archery, get rid of hiking trails, and get rid of skeet shooting, keep all the dogs together, And then I'm going to put must also match skeet shooting, archery. Target archery is big too. Archery. There was hiking, wasn't there? Hiking, there's a really big hiking one. Come on, scroll. There it is, hiking trails. People that do, let's see, we're getting up there. See how it's cumulative to 380,000. People that do hunting. Let's do more specific. Deer hunting, bird hunting. Oh, it's not big. Game, big game hunting. But remember, we're targeting women, so it's going to be a smaller audience. If I made this into men, look at the number. It goes to 420. For women, it is 450. But if you did men and women, you're going to be 880. So you could decide how you were going to do the audience. The smallest I like an audience to be, my personal view, is 500,000. I've had audiences about 300,000 and they burn out within about 6 months. So you just have to know you have to keep changing it. So, you know, what now I've done in this particular situation is if I wanted to get it up to 500,000, I could maybe play with the age group here, maybe drop this down to 32, and now I'm at 510. Okay, so I just changed the ages. I've sold with women. So here's women that have hunting type of dogs. I could add in other breeds if I wanted to. And, outdoor sports. This hiking trails is huge. These are all similar things. So in the targeting, the way it is now is this is, pretty set. People are this age group, women, English. But now we've got these dog breeds. So it's any of these dog breeds that also match any of these things. So it could be Brittany Spaniels and archery, or it could be Chesapeake Bay Retriever and hiking trails, or Labrador and skeet shooting. So that's why we always put like things with like things, because it's like any of these things can match any of these things. And then you get a more targeted audience with this kind of layering. But I will caution you, I don't layer more exclusions, who also have children, motherhood. There's one here that's really huge with motherhood. It's like massive. Where is it? There was one here. Maybe it's not picking up today. There's one that's like massive. Or we could put in parent. This is huge. Parenting, 300 million. So I could layer in parenting. So now see how I cut it down to 190,000? It's starting to get too narrow. And some people like to layer upon layer upon layer. My personal experience, I don't. I might just layer one thing and then another thing. Sometimes I will exclude. So if you're in a network marketing company that's big enough to be found in Facebook, you can type it in here. Or maybe I want to exclude people who are parents. Maybe I don't want any parents in my ads. Where's the parents one? It was huge. Parenting. I'm just making this up, you guys, because it's not an audience I would use. But see how it dropped it down here to 190,000. So the way that would work is, so it would be any of these that match any of these, and then also exclude people who match parenting. So it's like dog owners that are into outdoor sports that are not parents. So like I said, I would never use an audience 190,000. I want at least 500,000 or bigger. I personally like about 750 to 1.5 million, but I'd take an audience at about 500,000 if it was really specific. But what we use this for, especially is excluding, is your company. So say you were with Amway. It's like you've got all these Amways you could add to this. So the biggest one here is Amway Center, Amway US, Amway Global is 19,000. I usually try to find the biggest one. So Amway US is huge. So if you wanted to eliminate your company, say if your company was Amway, you don't want anybody in Amway, here's Amway there. So there was 10,000 people, if you noticed, that dropped out of this category. So let me do that again. So your audience right now, matching any of these plus any of these. Remember, keep like things with like things. Don't be mixing don't put in Pepsi in here. Okay, that's totally random. We want to keep like things with like things. But say Amway was my company, and I wanted to add in Amway, the big Amway interest group. I usually try to go with the biggest one. This one here is like 450,000, but this one's even bigger at 12 million. So watch up here on the right, 510. When I put in Amway, 10,000 came down. So there might have been 10,000 people in that interest group that were in Amway or interested. And so I don't want to show my ad to them because they might already be a member. So you would put your company in here if it's big enough. If it's not big enough, then don't worry about it. You won't need to be concerned. But the big companies are in there. Amway, I think Herbalife is in here. Yeah, see, Herbalife is in here. Shackley. Yeah, you got Shackley. You got Young Living is in here. Yeah, so Young Living, doTERRA is going to be in here. Melaleuca would be in here. Rodan and Fields right there. So if your company's big enough, I don't like it when my screen does that. Screen, why do you do that to me? Here we go. There we go, better. If your company's big enough, it'll fit. It'll be in there. If it's not, then don't worry. But I just wanted to show you how to do some of this layering because there we go. I see the biggest errors in this area. And this is a little longer tutorial, but I want you to understand. I want to kind of drill it 100 times because I see this all the time in errors where people are mixing all kinds of things and they're the size of the audience is like 45 million. They have this checked. If I check this, look what happens. It goes to 34 million, which I don't want to do. So I uncheck that to make sure it's the real thing and not all diluted all over. So make sure do not check that. But I hope this makes sense. I hope this really helps you with your targeting because it's very powerful, but don't make it too many layers. I usually never go more than 3. I do one main one and then a secondary and then maybe an exclusion for my company. That's it. I've seen people that go this and must also match, and they keep narrowing further and narrowing further, and I'm like, yeah, no, I think Facebook gets bogged down in that. Just my opinion. So that's just me. You might hear it differently from other gurus, but this is my experience in teaching people how to run ads and running my own ads and working with colleagues that run ads. I just see too many layers. Facebook gets stuck. So keep it simple and keep like things with like things. Your audience should be preferably about 750 to 1.5 million. 500 would be great if you had a niche audience. Like if you were selling, something that really was applicable to these people, it would make sense to be in a smaller audience. But I just hope this helps. It was really my goal so that you understand how the inclusions work and how the exclusion works here. Okay, have fun and get targeting.